None of that happened. None of y'all saw anything. Okay. I see dead people. Welcome back. Aw, hi. Purple, get out of here with the puns. We don't agree with the puns. No puns. Okay. Gang, are you ready? I'll unmute you. Okay. Yes. Oh, hold on. I said I would unmute you, but actually I can't. Hold on. I said that. I said I was gonna be you. Where? This is interesting. Interesting. Hold. They can't hear you. They can just see you guys moving, but they definitely, I don't think they can hear you. At least I don't think so. Perfect. I think that's a great use of your time. Okay. They should be able to hear you now.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, there we go.
Hello.
And you guys should be louder this time. Everyone was saying how quiet you guys were last time. So now hopefully I fixed that issue. So we'll see.
Okay.
Hi everybody. I'll go ahead and introduce everything. And then we'll get started. We never know how to act accordingly. I never know how to act, and I stream constantly. So there's that. Hello everybody. Welcome to, what the fuck is our name? On the Same Page. I always forget. Welcome to On the Same Page, our book club that we hold supposedly once a month.
I forgot that we came up with a name for it.
I forget every time.
month.
To be fair.
I forget every single time. Yeah, well, hey, welcome to On the Same Page. It's our monthly-ish book podcast. And
we do our best.
You know, we're doing our best out here. It's a girl's world, and we're just living in it. Today we're going to be doing House in the Cerulean Sea. I always want to say House on the Cerulean Sea. It is in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This month's pick was by Ashley. Woo! 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 So I'm very excited. So per last time, I'm just going to do the non-spoiler section, and then we're going to hand it over to Ashley to lead the spoiler section. Very excited. So first off, we'll do our overall rating out of 5 stars, and then overall thoughts, non-spoilery thoughts, and then we'll get into it. Who wants to go first? Anybody want to go first?
I think Ashley.
Okay, yeah, it is your pick.
Ashley told me she did.
I did what?
You wanted to go first.
Right. Yes, I totally said that. So I guess from last time, my rating changed. So I would say pre-discussion rating. I give it. I want to say a 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's standardize our scoring system right now because we have a 9 out of 10 in chat.
I know. I just saw that.
Oh.
Okay. Well, okay. So you give it 4.5 stars, and out of 10, we'll add it.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Okay. All right. Cass?
I'm gonna go with an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay. And how many stars? How many stars would you give it, Cass?
Oh, how many stars?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what math? How does that equate? I guess I have like 4 stars.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I actually 4.5 stars for Purple. Okay. Welcome, Inset, for the first time in the book club stream. It's chaos per usual. Normally we just talk shit. That's what's about to happen. So my rating is actually 5 stars. I would give it 5. I would actually give it more than 5 stars if I could.
I knew it.
You got me. You caught me red-handed. I would actually give it 10 out of 10. That's my Pre-discussion, 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll start with our overall thoughts. I'll lead that. So for my overall thoughts, I felt okay. So I do have a confession. I've read this book before. I read it. I reread it for book club. I did reread it, but I have read this. I read it a couple years ago, right when it came out. So I take that with a grain of salt of my rating, but my rating did not change. It was a 5-star a few years ago.
Hang on.
And it's 5 stars now.
Come on now.
Yeah.
He's like, wait.
Yeah.
You come to book club and you say you've already read the book before.
I did. But it's not my pick. I didn't pick this. Ashley picked it.
Month. It's been more than a month since we have picked the book.
Okay, but
and
listen.
You have been lying to us.
Okay, listen. I didn't say anything because I really wanted us to read this book. And I didn't want me reading this book already for you guys to be like, oh, well, you already read this book. Because it's literally one of my favorite books of all time. And it still is. So that's why. Okay, so that's my confession. So lie detected. No, listen.
Wow.
No, listen. So with that pre-existing knowledge, I did fully reread this book with notes though. The first time I read it was purely enjoyable, and I'm glad I fully reread it with everything because I definitely needed to go back because there was some stuff that I missed. But my overall thoughts. Obviously, I love this book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's a comfort book for me now. Now that I reread it a second time, it's definitely a comfort book that I'll probably pick up again. I think all the characters are really dynamic and well written. I really enjoyed the author's voice and how they write. It's easy for me to follow, at least, and I think that it's a very strong voice, which I think is kind of nice for this type of book. And yeah. That's my thoughts. I didn't lie, I swear. I just omitted some truths. That's all I did. You can't see my hands, but they're up in the air in surrender.
So this is the first time I've read this book, and my thoughts are I really liked it. I did the audiobook because I had a 9-hour road trip on my hands this month. And I said, that's the perfect time to listen to a book. Given all of our abilities to never have to reschedule book club ever because we always finish the books on time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So with that in mind, I did the audio. But I really, really enjoyed it. It kind of surprised me that I was not expecting it to be what it was. Like what Kylie said, I liked the dynamic characters. Everyone was very well rounded and well thought out, and they really connected very well together to like perfectly tell the story they were trying to tell. But what surprised me is that it was like kind of an allegory, wasn't it? I mean, we'll get in there when we start spoiling things, but it was kind of like a story within a story. Like they used a story to like touch on things in our world that need to be touched on.
Absolutely.
So I love stuff like that. The metacognitive stuff, the thinking about thinking, I love it. So my brain just ate this up. And it had fantastic characters.
I agree.
So in your first read of this book, Ashley,
my first go around.
Actually, I'm just gonna leave. Let me just leave. Goodbye, forever.
So this book club is now for first timers only. Kylie, I'm so sorry, but
okay, for real. Then I'll leave. I'll go. Goodbye.
No.
I really loved so on the cover of the book I have, there's like a quote, like I guess like a rating or a comment from another New York Times bestseller, and it says, "It's like being wrapped in a warm gay blanket," and that's really what it delivered.
That too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, oh, that's exact, and it was. I liked it because, right, like it was really good storytelling. It was. I really like TJ Klune because I read one of his other books, Under the Whispering Door, and I feel like
love that book.
he like does really good about writing about heavy topics, but still making it like a nice light.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost like very serious and like topics, but all the characters are just so uplifting and so inspiring that you're just like, oh, this is just such a, it's such a, you still feel like you're reading just like a happy book, and you're like, child trauma, but
Yeah.
we're going on an adventure. We're going to get ice cream, and you're like, oh. You almost forget that they're all traumatized, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Ain't that just the way?
Ain't that just the way? Oh, actually, I should do the trigger warnings before we. Yeah, keep going. Sorry, keep going.
But I also feel like that's kind of like real life, though, because it's like everybody. That's how I felt like his writing is super realistic when it's like a lot of people have a lot of traumas, but then they choose to live their life. It's like, because I feel like that's kind of how real life is, and especially real life kids, where they're like, yeah, all this crazy stuff happened, but I'm so excited to go on this adventure and go to the town and buy, I don't know, ice cream or whatever. I don't want to spoil, but
they say
what I
things
mean?
so left field. Kids are like, so last night when my mom was crying in the bathroom, I was eating my toast and it was so good, and you're like, oh my god.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Yeah, I felt like the characters were very, even though it's super fantastical, like fantasy, I feel like it's very real. Like I didn't feel like it was out of touch.
Not at all. I think it was very timely in our world.
Yes. So those are my overall thoughts. I really enjoyed it. It was nice in this warm gay blanket. It was so cozy. So yeah. So
good. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing the warning really quick. Okay, there is the warning. I'm gonna pin it. This book does contain themes of horror, and I say horror very lightly. Think horror from a child's point of view. But if that's not your jam.
But also like the devil.
Yeah. The devil.
But from a child's point of view.
Child abuse, family trauma, and other related topics. Just so you know, in case that's not your vibe today, feel free to skedaddle. It's okay. Yes, I agree, Purple. The humor in this book is wonderful. It's so delightful.
Yeah, I agree.
So delightful. And the writing is descriptive. I will piggyback off of you that the writing is descriptive because it is a light fantasy, and fantasy normally does have a lot of like descriptions, right? But it's not overwhelming like a very heavy fantasy book where it's like, and the gobbledygook that was off the trail of the Hubba-da-da and Nazareth and Lazarus and Kabba-da-da were all brothers. What the fuck? It's like, like, I don't know what the hell. And it's not like there's like a map at the beginning of this fucking book where you're like, okay, where the fuck are we? Are we in Aragon?
No,
we're just
in
the temple?
Ocean.
Yeah.
We're just in the sea.
Yeah. It's very like you can conceptualize the world around you.
It's like there's city and island, and that's
it. It's like there's a train. You're like, okay, cool. These are all words I know. These are all things I know what they are.
We can easily imagine those ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you guys would like to chat about for non-spoiler before we move on?
No, I'd like to spoil everything now.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. Everybody, this is a big disclaimer. We're now in the spoiler section. If you have not read this book, as you can tell, all of our ratings are fairly high. And we all seem to have enjoyed this book. So if you have not read this book, please go read it if you have any inclination to do so. Do not spoil it for yourself. I think this book really is enjoyable to just embrace and just experience, and it's lovely. So go do that. Okay, we're in the spoiler section. Ashley, I'm handing it off to you. Here we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Purple. Thank you.
So I wanted to start with, because we just did the disclaimers, so I've like the trigger warning, so I feel like we should just dive into that.
Okay, perfect.
So something that I wanted to talk about, because with the children, it's very like in your face about, okay, they're going through traumas, and it's kind of like Linus and Arthur are, you know, picking up their pieces, trying to give them a normal life. But then I kind of wanted to talk about how Linus and Arthur also had childhood traumas, but then I kind of like how he's especially Linus. Anyway, okay, I'm going to go on a tangent, but I want to know what you guys think, specifically Linus and Arthur. Like if you picked up on that, like
yeah, 100%.
Their traumas and how like they came out as adults from it.
Well, see, I don't want to say anything because since I am not included because I actually read this book before, I'll let the first-time reader go first.
Yeah,
oh, wow. Okay. All right. Easy out, scapegoat. I think they both have very different arcs in learning about themselves. Arthur has clearly already processed a lot of what he needed to, and so that's why we don't learn about his full story and everything that happened till the end. It wasn't really relevant to his character arc because he'd already been through this. And I think Linus like didn't know himself, you know? He had never lived a life and he didn't know who we watched him unpack all of that because it was very relevant to his character arc. But learning all of Arthur's childhood trauma at the end, and since we're in the spoiler section, so all of I feel like we need to give like Ashley, would you like to give us like a basic rundown on what exactly is happening in this book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Linus, for people who haven't read the book. So Linus is our main character. He is a case manager for a company called Department in Charge of Magical Youth. And so it's basically all these magical creatures who are orphans. And so he goes out to the orphanages, makes sure he's very to the T, by the book, you know, anything out of turn, he writes it in his report. And it's like, this orphanage needs to be closed down because, you know, they don't meet the standard, you know. Very by the book kind of guy. He lives to work, you know. He goes to work, he goes home, he goes to work, he goes home, doesn't take vacations. Like, he doesn't know anything else. So he gets a special assignment from, they call it super upper management.
I love that. That's
extremely upper management.
Extremely upper management.
Extremely upper management.
Yeah, to spend a month at this one orphanage that apparently is like the worst of the worst kids. They're like, we don't get many reports from the headmaster. We want you write really good reports. You're very by the book. We want you to go down there and tell us what's happening. So, and that's where our story kind of begins. So, yeah. And
Yeah.
And even though he's like by the book, he very much cares for kids. They cares. They set that up very good in the beginning.
Yes. That he makes the calls he makes because he believes he's doing what's right to actually take care of these children. So there's these magical children who are very marginalized from society. And then there's Arthur, who's their caretaker, who we find out that Linus is supposed to be like, that's really who they're observing. And you just, without knowing the book, you just assume, and most all of these other orphanage situations, it's magical children. taking care of them, which is already problematic because, like, how are they supposed to know? How is a non-magical adult supposed to know what magical children? And so you just kind of assume throughout this whole book that that's the situation here. That maybe this is just like a super woke human man. He's clearly a little bit flick of the wrist kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, that's just because he's nice. That's why he's like this. But we find out at the end of the book that Arthur's a phoenix. Which, first of all, beautiful metaphor. He rose from the ashes. I love a phoenix metaphor. Favorite.
So good.
And so I love that. But he has, being a phoenix and like all the fire and all of that, he was seen as very and very destructive, and they locked him in like a cellar to keep him from hurting people. Not really even that. They to control him essentially, because he was too powerful. And so he was like imprisoned for just being who he is. And we don't learn all of that backstory to the very end, which, even though we all already like Arthur throughout the whole book, there is no situation, but his backstory makes you even more like, this is so good. This is why he's so good at this, because he knows, because he gets it.
Absolutely.
And why he's so partial to Lucy, aka Lucifer,
aka the Antichrist.
the 60-year-old Antichrist.
we don't use that term around here.
Isn't every 6-year-old kind of the Antichrist though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, yes. Correct.
Yeah.
I was like, literally to that point, like everything Lucy does, I was like, yeah, that sounds like normal 6-year-old behavior to me, just with magical powers.
Lucy.
Right.
Everything he said, because I was listening to it. Like when I read, I jump sentences and spoil stuff for myself. But because I was listening to it, like everything that Lucy said was so out of left field, and it killed me.
Yes.
Like, the spiders in my brain are going to take over, and then I'm going to burn everything to flames.
And then Arthur's like, no, you're not. He's like, actually.
And Arthur's like, that was wonderfully descriptive, Lucy. Thank you.
There was one quote he said. I wrote it down because it made me laugh out loud. But it was like, Lucy was like, "We're evil, and we're going to murder people." He's like, "We're not evil. Don't use the word evil." And he's like, "Okay, murderous intent." And then no one said anything. And he's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna run with that." It's like, hold on, wait. We're fine with being called a murderer, but we can't call. Okay, Arthur. All right. Hey, Arthur.
I adore the Arthur-Lucy relationship.
So cute, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That so I guess we should also introduce the kids as well.
The children.
Yes. Yes, Purple, me too. So the children, there's a few of them. So we have Lucy, as we've just talked about, who is Lucifer, the son of the devil. We have Chauncey, who is an amorphous blob / sea creature /
Maybe they think he's part jellyfish.
Yeah, that's the one. Jellyfish.
But also, like, he's kind of giving dog as well.
Yeah,
like,
very interesting.
I thought of what's the dog from Up?
Doug.
Yes.
Doug. You remind me of Doug. Like, if Doug were a jellyfish.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, actually, yes. Then we have Talia, who is my whole heart. Who is a gnome. She's a female gnome. That's very important.
I was gonna say female gnome.
Very important. Then we have oh gosh, now I'm losing my train of thought. Sal. We have Sal, who is
oh, poor sweet Sal.
Sweet little Sal. He's a little shapeshifter. he shapeshifts into a Pomeranian when he gets scared. But when he bites people when he's shapeshifted, he can also make them shapeshift. So that's a little terrifying.
Yeah.
So he's the tiny dogs.
Then there's Theodore, who is a wyvern, excuse me. So like a little tiny dragon. Very cute. And then I'm missing Fee. No. Yeah, Fee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? What's her name? Then we have Fee, who is she's a sprite. She's a forest sprite. Am I missing anybody?
I don't think so.
No, but we should probably also mention Zoe.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say Miss
and-
Chapel White, who is also a sprite. She
Chapel-
lives on the island, so that they are on.
Yeah.
She owns that island.
That is her island.
Yes, Purple. They are all well-rounded. We'll get into that. We're gonna go back to Ashley's question.
Oh, I mean, I just thought it was interesting. So I feel like most every character, they're like, this is their deal, you know? But then I feel like subtly Linus kind of just touches, like, I feel like he was neglected had a very absent parent. And I feel like especially how much he cares for the kids and things, like he kind of seeked this job because he never had a childhood. So I feel like, you know, because I feel like the way he wrote him was like, I don't want to say, what am I trying to say? Like, I can't find the word. I don't want to say immature, but he's definitely like, even though he's an adult and acts like an adult, you can tell just the way he talks and acts, he's still very like
naive.
Naive, yes, very innocent, very childlike.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I think he's like, it's like the child at heart kind of thing. Like, which is why, like, he's empathetic and he's idealistic, which are two very hard things to be in a world like theirs, which is also a world like ours. And I think he has this heart of a child that he's like protecting in this business suit.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
and I think also, yeah, because Ashley, you're right on point, because Linus is very like, he talks about childhood trauma like I talk about my childhood trauma. We're like, haha, yeah, remember when my mom did this shit? And you're like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
Remember when she said I was irrelevant and that that she forgets that I exist? And it's
literally,
like, hold on, Linus. Wait, what?
What? Yeah, they would just drop like these little bombshells of like Linus and like his relationship with his mom, and how you can definitely tell he didn't have like a safe space to be himself. Which is why he's always like, this is preposterous. But then he does it anyway, because back to your point, Cass, it's like that child at heart of like, this is stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's fun.
Right.
There's also so many situations in which he thought about doing and then didn't. And I kind of liked that carried throughout the story. Like, they didn't try to make a really intense character arc and he thought about doing this and then he did it, and you're like, yeah. But it was like up until the end, he still had this like reserved him that was clearly like very scared of doing something wrong or stepping outside of his manual, his rights and rules and regulations, his book that he carries around. There were so many situations where they'd be like, and he walked past the door and he thought about going in. He kept, and you're like, oh, Linus. But it's so relatable. I've been there of like, oh, I should do this, but I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree with that.
He was a very relatable character.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. He's very relatable in the sense of like romance as well, where it's like he's definitely the grumpy character, the grumpy sunshine trope, which is my favorite trope of all time.
They set it up in the very beginning that this is a queer man, and you're like, all right, so where's his queer lover?
It's so cute. It's so cute because like at the beginning especially, he's describing Arthur, right when he sees him, and he's like, this very tall, handsome, that Arthur, and I didn't, but Linus didn't notice, or he like describes him as like having like being handsome and having a wonderful smile and things, and he's like, which did nothing for his heart. His heart definitely didn't skip a beat, or he definitely didn't blush just now. Not at all.
Oh, he was smitten from the beginning.
100%. It was so cute. And both of them were.
But I also appreciated that they didn't make it all about the love story.
Yes.
I was really worried when they did the whole introduction, Linus, Arthur. I was like, well, damn, here we go. It's a love story, and now none of this matters. From the beginning, I was like already so enthralled because of the government work stuff. So I work for a state institution, essentially. It's an institution. It is a residential facility for adults with intellectual disabilities, but it's an institution run by the state government. And I was relating so hardcore to everything Linus was saying about his government work. There was one line at the beginning where it said, ideal place in government work. And I was like, because yes. So I was already like so enthralled in the environment of like the idealism in institutions, in broken systems. I was like, yes, this is what I want. And low key, I think we will probably like get into this and like the deeper meaning of this book, but I'm just gonna jump in right. I think that you can look at this from the perspective of just about any marginalized group of humans that the children could represent. But my perspective was like, this is so about disability rights, isn't it? Like these children who are different, and they're put into these separate little schools, and they have abilities that other people can't relate to, and we shun them. We don't want that dramatic where like they get spat on the street, but like there's still a very stark separation in our society. And so that's very much, and I think you can look at this group of children to represent many different marginalized groups in the world, but I was thinking of this from the perspective of disability rights and inclusion and equity.
Yes, Purple.
Yeah.
Yes, the residential schools, yes.
So you're kind of on the money here. So both of you are. So do you want me to tell you I won't call it inspiration, but what the book kind of like he heard about TJ Klune. Yeah. He heard about this.
I read something
you did.
About this.
You did? Okay,
was that people were like viewing it as problematic at first, but I read the article and okay, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Problematic.
No. And especially, so for those who don't know, this book was based off of these horrible schools that were in Canada, I think. Canada.
No way.
Yeah. United Kingdom. It's not America, but I think Canada. For people who are Native American.
Oh no.
Yes. People who are indigenous. And so they would have these Catholic indigenous run schools, and they would separate their children from their families and from the reservation and throw them into these schools, where basically like you had to become Catholic and conform, or you would essentially get tortured and killed and buried under these schools. It happened not too long ago, actually. So fun. Yeah. So yeah, they shut down the last of these schools like not too long ago, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Purple, the ones where they force children to become Catholic and learn the white ways. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was definitely his inspiration, but I want to add that in those schools as well is like they would also throw children who did have disabilities and children who were seen as unclean or impure, right, to like purify them. So it's right on the money. 87. Thank you, Purple. Thank you. Yes.
What?
1987. Yeah, I knew it was soon. I knew it was recent.
Wow.
It was not long ago.
No, it's a huge topic in Anne of Green Gables books.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
She has a friend that gets taken to one of them.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But Cass, I do agree with you that I don't think here's a hot take. Here's a hot take. Hot take. If the people who are, you know, if the indigenous people don't have a problem with it, okay, if the indigenous people don't have a problem with it, which many indigenous creators, I looked at this very closely, especially after I read this book, because the discourse was very high a few years ago, especially. And a lot of indigenous creators were like, no, it's actually really fine. You don't have to white savior us, because that's exactly what it was, is like all these white creators were like, oh my God, I can't believe that he would write about, and they're like, no, actually, I think that he wrote very nicely and beautifully, and really, like, I'm glad that he was able to, you know, create something, and just going off about how it was nice that he was bringing not only like light to certain topics, but was able to, you know, be respectful and everything like that. And it's just like, y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill out. Okay?
People just want to have attention and say that they want to cancel someone.
Yep. Oh my God, I did not know that. Okay, so Purple said the final school was only closed in 1996.
Ugh.
What the fuck?
Ugh.
What the
Aren't
fuck?
we disappointed in our world?
Yeah, I am.
That just ties back on like how in touch his writing is, because it's like, right, this is fantasy, but it's like, yeah, this is fantasy, but this happened to people.
It's an allegory.
Right. It's like, yes, but this really happened to someone.
Yes.
This could very well be someone's story, you know? And he's like,
no, and it's so relevant, and I love it because it does have this level of vagueness where, like, yes, that the residential schools was his inspiration, but again, you can be like, well, this is how disabled or neurodivergent people are, queer people are treated. This is how Black people, women, this is like any marginalized group is kind of like,
absolutely,
like, we won't think about it.
Yep.
But especially things that are harder to swallow. And yeah, no, and I adored everything about their, like, Linus's attempt to, like, integrate them into their society. It was, he's like, let's just go take them and get ice cream. That Arthur was like, because that's like such a thing when that's how you learn is by being around and being exposed to different ideas and different kinds of learn to accept, and that's how you learn to be empathetic. And as much as, like, Arthur wants to do, as much as he wants to, that's in the end both damaging for them and the society, because neither one of them learn about each other. And so I love that Linus was such this advocate for integration, and he was, you know, supposed to say separate, whatever, blah blah blah. Get ice cream because that's what's good for the world. And I was like, oh yeah, Linus.
So cute.
I think about that all the time with the people that I work with, that I'm like, we serve people at my facility that many people don't believe those kinds of people exist. But they do, and we need to, like, bring everybody together.
Absolutely.
The Beatles said it. Come together
right now.
So I was just so over ice cream. So I was just, like, so invigorated by everything in this book, because it's just what I, like, live, eat, and breathe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was gonna say that especially like their little outing cast really did remind me too of children with disabilities, because we all three work with people with disabilities, and I have a little cousin with a disability, and it just, like, there were some instances specifically with Talia where
Talia.
a little girl would walk up to her and the mom would be like, "Get away," this and that. And it's like, I
Yeah.
feel like with my little cousin, because I'm with her like out and about, like where I work, I'm in a center with other children who are like each other, but she is I've experienced her out in the world, and it's just like, not the ugliness, but oh, you're so different, I don't know how to interact with you, so I'm not going to.
Yes. They're like,
Mhm.
oh,
And
let me avoid eye contact so that I don't seem rude. I'm like, that's more rude.
Right, or just and it made me, because I visited her a few weeks ago, and it just made me so mad. But I was like, that's okay, because it could be just me and you, girl. We're gonna play in the dirt. We love it.
Aw.
Let's do it. And it's just, but that's what that book also reminded me of. Like when you said it reminded you of that, it also did for me too, because it's like,
I thought that you would be of a similar mindset.
yeah, because it's very, but I feel like it's more of a, not a like, get out of here, but more of a, oh, don't play with them because we don't know what they're gonna do, or they
that
don't understand. It's like easier to just ignore them than try to understand them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because changing your mind is hard. People don't want to do it.
No. And then when Talia talked to the shopkeeper, because she was kind of, what's her name? She's the mayor too.
Oh
And
my
she
God.
was kind of the
I
first
can't remember.
well, the mayor, she's this lady, and she was the first townsperson to kind of accept them and be like, and she says, apparently, because I halfway listened, like, audiobooked it, but she had a very thick southern accent, but she was like, everybody needs to be accepting, because I talked to this gnome girl for 5 minutes. And it's like, right, that's all you need to just give someone the time. Just lend an ear. That's all you, like, just treat everybody like a human being, and you'll be like, oh, that's a human being I know how to interact with.
Yeah. And then how surprised she was that they could talk about gardening tools together, that Talia was like, I really want this specific gardening tool, and then the mayor was like, oh, well, if you want to do this, you should use this gardening tool, and talking to her like another like fellow professional gardener.
Yeah.
And I love that, because that's the like presuming competence thing is
Absolutely.
just
absolutely.
assume that just assume that somebody can do something until you realize that you need to meet them somewhere else.
Yep. Absolutely.
I loved that whole thing. And then Lucy throwing a man against the wall to exercise his soul. I loved that too. It was great.
I love how the other shopkeeper was like, yeah, I grow this plant. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't smell like any of Talia's plants. He's like, yeah, you want me to show you? And Linus was like, absolutely not. And I'm like, oh, not just the person who's definitely high trying to tell a child about weed. I was like, oh my God. And then, but it was just funny too how he was just like, yeah, that other guy was really not cool. Like, you're a cool little dude. And so like the two shopkeepers, one of them tried to
Fucking
Marty. Right, Marty.
Marty.
He tried to exercise Lucy with a cross. He had to and Lucy just like
he tries to exercise the Antichrist.
Right. And then the other shopkeeper, just like I'm assuming is his friend, is like, yeah, that was really shitty of him. I just thought that was so funny that
he
was
totally
just
deserved that.
Right. He was just like, yeah, that's totally fine. Which I guess is like, right.
Yeah, man, you threw him against the wall. That's so sick.
Yeah, he was funny.
No, yeah, I was like kind of pleasantly surprised.
No, yeah.
I was like pleasantly surprised by how many positive interactions they had in the town, because like kind of like Arthur, I was nervous. I was like, oh, don't be mean to them. Oh no. But they kind of like, it was really good. And I think we and it's probably gonna go really bad. And you're like, wait a damn second. That was not bad at all.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Until, people started rioting.
There was the riot, yeah.
I didn't like that. That made me upset. I was like, what the fuck?
But then there was the Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Purple has a...
I know, I've read that.
What did you think of Sal's poem about being paper?
That was... Okay, I was
was
kicking
so
myself
good.
because I was like... Before we started stream, I was like, there was something I wanted to bring up. Thank you, Purple, because that was it. I was like, oh, this is kicking me so bad because it's so important, and I forgot. Yes, Sal's poem. Hold on. I think I have it. Hold on. So if you haven't read it, I can
Sal. I just
read
want
it
to
to you.
hug that sweet little baby boy.
He reminds me so much of Linus, and I felt like that's why Linus, I feel like at first he like... I thought it was really cool how he gave Sal space and then they naturally kind of came together and connected, and it's like, I feel like because they're the same person, like Linus is like, oh, I get him. Like,
absolutely.
I'm gonna let him come to me because I get it. You know? He's
Yes.
To me,
he's
very
very his interactions with these children were very intuitive.
Mm-hmm. It was like, and I think also with them being parallels is like something that they do great is, and this was going off of what you said earlier, Cass, is that Linus does a lot of things really scared. He often is like, I'm so fucking terrified right now, but I gotta go in here, dude. I gotta do this, dude. And it's like,
children may be in danger. I have to go.
I gotta fucking go, but I don't want to, you know? And I think that's a parallel really well done with him and Sal, because Sal, you know, Linus would probably turn into a Pomeranian like 50 million times in this fucking book. But he doesn't, because he's not a magical being. He's just, you know, a little human, cute little round boy. And yeah, and I think that was beautifully done, of how like Sal was definitely one to like really warm up to him, because the other kids warmed up to him for sure around the same time, but I think at the speed that Sal warmed up to him mattered a lot.
Yes.
And it was really cute.
So here's the poem for those who haven't read the book, and also just as a refresher for everyone else.
I'm gonna cry.
So
that was so sweet.
I know. So every day, the kids have class, and a part of this one class, Arthur assigned that the kids express themselves in a certain kind of way. So each child would go up in front of everyone, and like Lucy, for example, was like, I want to burn the world, but I'm not going to, but that's what I think about. And then Arthur's like, wonderful, great. And then like Chauncey is like, I'm gonna be a bellhop one day, and he's like, wonderful, great.
Fucking
and
Chauncey,
then,
so cute, dude.
You know, so one by one, and then Sal comes up, and he's like, has this crumpled up piece of paper, and he's so scared because Linus is in the room. Especially at this point, he did not warm up to Linus, so he is like terrified. And this is his poem. I am but paper, brittle and thin. I am held up by the sun, and it shines right through me. I get written on, and I can never be used again. These scratches are a history. They are a story. They tell things for others to read, but they only see the words, and not what the words are written upon. I am but paper, and though there are many like me, none are exactly the same. I am parchment. I have lines, I have holes. Get me wet, and I melt. Light me on fire, and I burn. Take me in hardened hands, and I crumple. I tear. I am but paper, brittle and thin.
And with Linus, okay, and then I just gotta mention this because I was literally screaming because Linus repeats that when he comes back to like, because he leaves, but we'll get into that. But he just repeats that. It's just so sweet. Anyway. I'm gonna shut up.
I love it. No, because it is a really good, like, it could kind of just sum up the book, really. Absolutely. Of like, these children have stories, and all they're seen, like their files, they're only seen as their file and not like who they are as a person. They're just seen as like, what kind of magical creature are you? What's your diagnosis?
I think also like what obviously Arthur and Linus, they say it multiple times, like these are children, but I feel like Sal's poem is like, I'm just a kid. Because
And life is a nightmare.
Yes. And
I know that it's not
I didn't get that at first, and I was like, yes, Kylie, yes.
Yes, it is. Beautiful. Snaps to that.
But Sal's story made me so sad because he gets kicked out. Like, he's never, what was it? Like, he didn't stay in one place for more than a week, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, he's like, I'm
like
just
15.
a kid.
This is like his 15th one, right? Something like that?
Right. And he's just like, I'm just a boy. I'm just a guy. Like, okay, I've been a lady once because she punched me in the face. I'm just a boy.
Of bread.
I know.
Because it's like, and all of his like shuffling around is what pisses me off even more is that like it's just not his fault at all. It's the system of dichotomy failing him over them creating these schools that don't work and don't teach people and these orphanages that are run by bad people and they get shut down and he just gets like one after the other like just completely throttled by this system. Poor freaking Sal. And Linus's rant to the or like his empowered speech to the extremely upper management, I also love that they call them extremely upper management because that's just ain't that just the way, you know, you like you got your boss, but then you've got your boss's boss, and then there's the boss's boss. Do you guys remember the Watchers from Dr. Seuss? There's the Watcher who's watching the bee. Yeah. And then there's the Watcher who's watching the Watcher watch the bee. And then there's the Watcher who's watching the Watcher who's watching the bee. And it goes on and on and on and on. Just nailed it. He was telling us about the world before we were in. But in Linus's like empowered speech to upper management at the end, he says, no, he doesn't say this to them. He says this to the people from his wonderful learning experience, field trip, life-changing experience on the island, and he comes back to his regular desk job and is so frustrated by how everyone is just like going about their business.
Yep.
As if like there aren't children getting like Sal out there getting completely abused by this system that they work for. And he says, he says, we're doing it wrong. All of this, it's wrong. We're feeding a machine that will eat us all. I can't be the only one that. I shed a tear on that one. I said, I feel you, Linus.
So good. And yeah, Purple, exactly. Like Cass was saying, they do get treated as inconveniences. They do get treated like that. Like, they're just nothing. Like, they're like a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper.
Like a piece of paper.
It's just so sad. Yeah, I cried throughout this whole book.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I also wanted to add how I also just think it's so funny, like just to add on that it's never, like in Dichotomy's eyes, it's never really about the children. Like even the special assignment, it's not about the kids, it's about Arthur.
That's because fucking what's-his-face is in love with him. And he's like, I want to know what Arthur's doing. Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, sir. Yeah. He's got a new man.
Yeah, he's got a new man. He's got 5-6 kids.
Yeah.
Independent man. Anyway. I also, another talking point, because I want to talk more about, I wanted to say about Dichotomy. I think it does a really good example of like real life, like not even just like government, because I work for like, it's a private organization, but it's ginormous, but it's like the intention on paper is for the children, but it's really for themselves because it's about money, it's about power and control, like all those propaganda papers of like
see something, say something.
Quiet children is a peaceful mind, like it's all like nope, just shush, do what we tell you and we'll get the money for it. Thank you.
You can't see me right now, but my hands are in the yes, that's all of it. Ashley just said yes, yes, yes.
Or like, for example, Sal, oh, you bit this lady, you terrible child. And it's like, she punched me. And it's like, doesn't matter. You're a magical child and you should have known better, even though you're a child and it's all your fault and you're terrible. It's like, no, actually, no.
Period.
Like, ain't that just the way that like we have these like massive systems that are supposed to be serving people, but they're not serving the people that they say that they are. They're serving themselves, the upper management, the extremely upper management. We never even met upper management.
Nope.
There's probably like, what's a bigger word than extremely? There's probably like, I don't know, where do the gods live? What's that? Olympus. There's probably like a Mount Olympus after that. And it's these systems that claim they're serving this certain group of people because that's such a noble cause. Look at you. Oh, you serve the people. You. Wow, aren't you just doing the Lord's work? It's a special kind of person.
Not to mention the funding doesn't go to them. Where's the funding going?
This was just so true to the real world, and it made me so mad.
Where's the fucking funding, dude?
Yeah, Arthur, that cracked me up when Lana says like, well, you use that
they're like,
funding.
The
he's
funding.
Like,
what funding?
He says,
oh, you sweet little. No, he's so cute because he always compliments him and like, because he adores him. He's like, you cute little man. And he's like, what?
He's like, oh, Linus, you are so wonderful.
Yeah. You're so adorable. Like, oh. Anyway. But yeah, that pissed me off because I forgot about that until I read it and I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
Oh, with the propaganda?
No, with the funding. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I forgot about that and it made me angry all over again. This book baby feels so many emotions all over again and I was like, yes, it's bringing me back because fuck those people. That's all I gotta say about that. Her and her little can't stand them.
It's giving America's healthcare system.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's aggravating to me because like, going back to your propaganda, Ashley, it's aggravating to me because like, unfortunately, propaganda just does damage, right? In any form, really. And you could tell because even like at the end of the book when they're like, they took down the propaganda posters and, you know, we're integrating them more into the town and it's a pretty small town, like it's a small beach town. And even so, they're like, there's still people who like don't fuck with us, you know, because that's already done. Right. It's already ingrained in them. And it's just like, it just really sucks because I'm thinking like, well, what if the small beach town, like, you know, they didn't have those initially, right? What would happen if they did integrate them a little bit beforehand? Or, you know, what if they were the beach town was just as isolated as the little island that they were on? Like, how would their life look like? And it's just, it sucks because people are taught hatred. So many people are taught hatred, and that's just one way to do it. And it just makes me so sad. Because I'm like, I just want everyone to be happy.
Like the little girl that interacted with Talia when they were getting ice cream in town, who just like didn't even see it as an issue until her mom presented it as one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was a beautiful moment because they're like, you know, there are people who are going to, because Talia really handled that so beautifully in her 200-year-old self.
She's always reminding him.
Yeah. I'm older than you. I'm like, okay, but you're not because you're a gnome. So gnomes age slower, ma'am. But it was so cute because she's just like, you know, maybe that little girl, that experience is going to change her trajectory. Just by her seeing me and being exposed to me, right? Maybe that little girl will change her mind and she's not going to act that way, right? Because she didn't have any malice when interacting with me. And I just like,
right.
And first of all, the fact that came from a sweet little baby child made me go sob. But I was just like, that's so true, because also how true is that in the world where like, you know, people don't expose their kids to things, right? Or they shield them too much from certain things. And then like for people with disabilities or people who are of different cultures and skin tones and things like that. And then they go out into this world. The world is not going to stop turning. People in this world, those people still exist in the world. Like you're setting it up for failure. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was also interesting because Arthur also was kind of setting those kids up for failure.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't integrating them. He was like, no, they're my sweet baby angels. And Linus is like, okay, yeah, but like, they're not going to be here
all the time.
Yeah. Even
they're
though
going to grow up.
Yeah.
Talia will probably outlive us, right? But like, eventually she will be 500 years old, right? And then she'll be off in the world, you know?
She's like, this is my 5th master of the house. But I speaking on that, it did make me really sad, like how well she handled the situation, because it's like, oh, you had to be taught to be more mature than you have to be because of the ignorance of an adult.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because an adult didn't want to put the effort to learn why they're afraid and try to understand that. So now you have to understand that there are going to be ignorant adults who are not going to understand, and you have to adjust to them.
Yep.
Like you have to be emotionally mature enough to handle them, and that made me really sad. Where it's like, okay, you basically like, okay, you have to learn how to swallow hate, basically. You know, like sorry, but that's how you are, yeah.
And I think that was also really prevalent with Chauncey's kind of storyline.
Yes.
Because Chauncey just wants to be a bellhop, dude. It's just so
all
cute.
He wants.
Just wants to be a bellhop. It is so precious. And so hi Kenzo is so precious and so cute. Because all he wants to be is a bellhop, but he does look, you know, not conventional for a bellhop. Go ahead, Cass. You were gonna say something.
Oh, like no, at the end where Chauncey gets to go bellhop there once.
Oh, yes.
In town, it made me so happy.
And then he started crying. Wasn't he like crying, and then he brought himself together and he's like, okay, I'm ready to be a bellhop now.
Yes. So precious.
He's like, I had to be really excited, and now I've got it together.
So cute. It was so precious. Like his whole storyline just really, I don't know what it was about this little jellyfish green amorphous blob that was like, I want to be a bellhop, but I was like, I want you to be a bellhop too.
I want Chauncey's spin-off story right now. And his adventures in bellhopping.
Oh my God.
I love whenever like there's a couple times that Sal walks by their rooms. And every time he walks by Chauncey's room, he's practicing being a bellhop, and he's like, "Hello, madam, let me take your bag." Oh, or he's like practicing his like "give me a tip" cough. He's like, and
so cute.
I was like, oh. he was really almost like my comic relief. Like it's like, oh man, hate and
I love
prejudice. Oh my gosh. And then Chauncey's like, I got a new hat today. And I'm like, Chauncey, I love that so much for you, friend. That's amazing.
So cute. Him and Theodore were my little.
And his button.
So cute, dude. Oh my God. When let me tell you something. When
Hi, are you ready? Let me tell you something.
Listen, towards the end of this book, where like Linus is like counting down his fucking days of him leaving, and the brooding starts happening, and all the kids are fucking like, my heart fucking breaks, and I just like sobbed throughout that whole chapter, or 2 chapters.
No,
but when Theodore is like, it's like one of his last days, and he's like, "Come look at my hoard," which, if you don't know, dragons don't like you looking at their fucking hoard. Okay, they don't like that shit. So he had not seen it this whole time, and he never puts pressure on the kids to show them anything, which is so sweet. And when he lifted it up, and it's just his hoard is just stuff from his favorite people. Like he has like just little bits of memories from his, not only his time there, but just of everybody that lives in the house. And he has a stack of the fucking buttons. I was done. I was sobbing.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
I love it.
For those who haven't read the book, when Linus first got there, Theodore flew over to him, and Tally was like, "Oh, you need to give him something for his hoard, and then he'll be fine." So all he had was a button, and then throughout his whole month, he was giving Theodore. He would cut a button off of his shirt and give it to him.
Oh.
So.
I don't know how this man's shirts were closing.
I know.
There couldn't have been any buttons left.
Well,
I know, and Arthur was like, he's like,
This was Arthur's secret mission. He's like, Theodore, go get another button.
Go get...
Listen. What? Okay. So listen. Speaking of that. Speaking of that.
Oh.
Speaking of that.
Oh, she lowered her voice. Kylie just turned on her radio voice. Oh my god.
That's because we're getting into some gay shit. We're gonna get into some gay shit.
That's not that. That's the Home Depot. Just kidding. That's also could be some gay shit. But...
It's a little ball.
What's the song?
Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone.
What's the little sultry song people use?
You could do like Redbone, like do. I feel like that's like
or
the new
Careless Whisper. What's
yeah.
Careless Whisper? How does that go?
Yeah.
All right. We're officially in
All
the
right.
sultry section.
Okay.
Kylie, continue.
Okay, we're talking about some gay shit here. We're talking about gay shit. All right. Here's okay. First of all,
July, Kylie, move on.
I know.
You're right.
Unfortunately, for all the homosexuals out there, we are now homophones. You're no longer gay. So sorry, it's July.
Homophones.
They're homophones now.
Yeah, it was only for June.
Yeah,
Get it
sorry.
together. Put it.
Go back in the closet. No, don't really.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. Just jokes.
Just
That
joking.
was a really good time.
But listen here. I'm sucker for
I'm
good
listening,
romance.
Kylie. I'm still listening, and you haven't said anything.
The Grumpy Sunshine dynamic is it's my favorite. First of all, it's one of my favorite dynamics ever on this earth. Okay. But I'm gonna talk about
What about the accept enemies to lovers?
Oh, well that's right. Okay, look. Enemies to
That's
lovers.
always on top. It's not ranked because it's always on top. So when we're ranking,
Got it.
that one isn't included because that one's better.
I mean, they're kind of enemies to lovers. They're kind of, in a way.
No, not
In a way.
Arthur.
No,
Come on,
Linus,
this is Arthur
no way.
we're talking about.
no,
Okay,
Linus
but-
was smitten from the beginning.
But
Also, Linus is like, in the rules and regulations, I can't have enemies. I have to be objective.
you're so right. No, for me, enemies to lovers goes underneath Grumpy Sunshine, Found Family. Those are my top two. Found Family will always be my favorite. This book is all Found Family, so obviously that's why I love this book so much. But Found Family will always be my favorite. I will watch anything, read anything that is Found Family. It is literally my absolute favorite trope of all time. Maybe that's because I have family trauma. We don't have to talk about that. We're talking about this book right now. So Linus, for those who don't know, I'm going to give a description really fast of what these men look like. First of all, they're older, which I love. First of all, any older queer love story makes me want to sob because if you don't know, you don't see a lot of older gay men, right? Because of AIDS, and a lot of them died. So anytime that I read a story or see an older gay man in real life, I want to sob. So it features some middle-aged older men, which is always nice to have a little bit of a, because, a lot of the queer love stories they're super young, right? They're in their 20s, whatever. So Arthur is this little string bean. Okay, he's tall. He's got knobbly little knees. All right, he's a little string bean. Okay, got golden hair. Our boy Linus, he's a little shorty. Okay, he's a shorty and he's a little round. They describe him as round multiple times in this book, but not in a negative way, which I fucking love, because they're at the dinner table and he's like, I can't eat this because I need to be healthier. And they're like, and Talia's like, what's wrong with being round? I want to grow up and be round. So cute. Short king. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Lucy in that same clip, he's like, I want to be round too, and then almost makes himself explode because has superpowers, and he's like, look, and his like eyes are bulging out, and they're like, Lucy, please sit down, please.
So cute. Which, that's what, first of all, I love the different, like, neither of these people have, like, quote unquote idealized bodies, right? But they're very smitten with each other, and they see each other, and they're already, like, automatically, oh my god, you're so cute, right? But what I was gonna say in my low sultry tone was
what was that, 5 minutes ago? Oh my god, we're finally here.
I forgot that at the end in the epilogue, they talk about, you know, them having sleepovers. And he's like, talks about how this part makes me giggle and kick my feet every single time, where he's like, yeah, you know, I still haven't lost any weight. I'm a little bit more suntan. I still haven't lost any weight. I'm still a little bit more rotund, which Arthur made known that he's a fan of. And I was like,
I know. It's like,
screaming.
But something screaming. Like, yeah, it was something like, oh, but he had no qualms, or like he was very fond of it. I was like, okay.
I was like, oh, and then he like goes behind. There's a scene in the epilogue also where he like goes behind him and he like holds him, and he holds his little belly, and he's like, I love you, and I'm like, screaming, crying, throwing up. Anyway, I love that gay shit.
Yeah,
so cute.
I also love how Linus was still like, he's like, I love you, and he's like, yes, and so do I. It's like he's still so like shy, and he's like obviously loves him, and it's funny because like I feel like Arthur's like, I know you love me, but then it's like, it's okay that you're shy about it. It's okay, you're cute. You know?
So cute.
Also, I thought that was so crazy at the end when the sprite and the mayor, he's like, oh yeah, she comes now, but not just to visit Talia's garden. I've noticed that. Okay, hold on. I think I misheard this part. He's like, yeah, I'm having they have sleepovers, and they've also had sleepovers at Zoe's house.
Yes.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yes. As in like they're borrowing Zoe's house.
Oh, okay.
From my understanding. Not a threesome.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty vague. That's what I thought. I was like, okay, Zoe.
I mean, wouldn't it be a foursome? It would be a foursome.
Well, I just said I've been vanilla my whole life. I need some spice before I die. I need some spice in my life.
It would technically be a foursome, right? Though, because the mayor would also be there.
I don't know, because then they
said that the mayor and Zoe had been hanging out,
and he's like, oh, and then they kissed, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, I love that. But then they were like, oh yeah, and sleepovers at Zoe's house, but it's like, again, it's super vague, so it's like, yeah, are they just the two of them? Because also, sprites are very territorial, and though she like shares the island, but like that's her house. You know, and it's like,
not a threesome, Ashley.
Hold on.
Ashley wants us to be a polyamorous relationship so bad.
Hold on. Hold on.
Listen.
It's a throuple, actually.
Listen, as someone who is poly, both Polynesian and polyamorous, all the polys.
Thanks for the clarification.
Polynesian
sauce. Listen. I'm all for everybody kissing. That's actually also one of my favorite tropes. I love it. Everybody, listen, I have very few tropes I don't love. Okay, very few tropes. I love the everybody kissing trope. However, they can't be kissing Ashley because she already was like, because at the beginning he's like, Miss Chapelway, Linus, Miss Chapelway, have you are you smooching that guy? And she's like, Pah! No way.
She's like, I'm gonna vomit.
No way. Yeah, literally, I'm gonna vom right here. Actually, no, don't say that. So that's why. That's why they can't smooch.
Right.
Who's to say? Maybe she is. Maybe she's into voyeurism. You
know? I was about to say, hold on, because she's probably thinking like, ew, that's my friend. Like, we're not a couple. You know what I mean? But she's like, I mean, but we'll kiss every once in a while. It's like, but
all right, that's enough.
But in a
That's
relationship,
enough. Ashley, we can discuss your fan fictions later.
Actually, on that note,
hold on. No, hold on. That is what I interpreted. I was like, oh, that's what that
All right. You are wrong, though. So.
Hey. We'll have to
her
see if
sister
there's
was a witch. Her sister was a witch.
Reddit on this last chapter.
Get off of Reddit, right? Reddit will prove anything is right to you. Thank you for your opinion, Ashley. But it was incorrect. Thank you. Moving on.
Okay, listen. Look, all I was gonna say was, we'll find out because the sequel comes out in September.
I was gonna say that there's a second one somewhere beyond the sea.
Very excited.
Somewhere beyond.
Love that that's the name, and that's a very prominent.
Can we talk about?
music.
We were talking all about their all the kids' little interests, but we didn't talk about Lucy.
Yes.
When Linus got to go into Lucy's room and he was so scared, but he did it. Also, can we talk Linus and Lucy? It's the Peanuts. They were bound to be besties. It's
Absolutely.
Linus and Lucy.
They were actually the first besties.
Oh geez. But Lucy's connection to music just melts my heart. I love it.
So cute. I love that he's like, I like dead people music specifically.
You like dead people music, and he's so excited that Linus likes. But there's a line that Linus says again at the end. Giant rant to extremely upper management. He's a kid because he's like, do you even know their names? There's so and so. He likes la la.
Yes.
And then he's like, then there's Lucy, and he says he dances, he sings, he lives for music, and it moves through him like blood in his veins. And I was like, oh. A music therapist over here being like, the Antichrist loves music.
And I think also, like, speaking on Lucy and his room, I love the fact that when Linus goes in and Lucy's like, sorry, I couldn't decorate the way I wanted to. Someone wouldn't let me put decapitated heads in my fucking room, even though they were going to be paper mache. I was like, what the fuck? He makes me laugh so hard. But the fact that he, like, I think it's beautiful because he has such, like, destructive tendencies, as most 6-year-olds do. Has, like, such destructive tendencies and says all these off-the-wall shit, but, like, you can tell that he cares so much because, like, his records are pinned on the wall that are scratched that he doesn't listen to, and then he has, like, all the records that he does listen to, like, neatly put away, and everything's neat and tidy, and, like, he cares a lot about his space and, like, his well-being.
And he cares so much that Linus likes it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it broke my heart. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say his dreams, Lucy's nightmares.
I cried.
Yeah.
And at the end,
sorry.
At the end of the book, Linus, like, telling Lucy, like, I'll be there for all of your nightmares and everything, and Lucy, their bond. It was that was the one I was here for that one. That's like, you knew it was coming, that they were going to, like, have this wonderful little character arc together, and I loved how it came together.
So precious, like, because when he's having that nightmare and, like, his records get broken, right, when he's out of it, he's, like, obviously so upset because that's, like, his prized possession. Like, he doesn't have a lot because he's in the foster care system, you know, he's in these quote unquote orphanages, and even though they're not, because they're never gonna get adopted, but like
but we don't know that.
I mean, they do at the end of the book by our beautiful, handsome couple. Possibly. Hopefully.
I know.
I hope so.
Quick snippet about Lucy. I love how like Linus and Arthur at the end are like, okay, I want to marry you, and he's like, okay, but what? Like, let's make sure that we can solidify the adoption first. You know, like I don't want to mess up their adoption, all this stuff. So I want to wait to tell the children because I don't want to put their hopes up. And Lucy's like, you told everyone. I told them that you're our dads and you're getting married, and we're all so happy. And it's like, oh my god, that's such a Lucy thing.
So cute, dude. I just adore him so much. Yeah, it's just like I think all the art. Oh wait, hold on. We haven't talked about someone. We haven't talked about Fee yet.
Fee, I feel like has been.
We haven't talked about her much.
No,
they don't. They don't touch on her other than like her also very tragic story. But
yeah, they dumped that on us.
They did. Fuck? They were like, we're gonna barely talk about Fee. Here's her tragic, heart-wrenching story. Anyway, and we're not gonna talk about her till the very end. It's like,
moving on.
I think. Go ahead.
I feel like I also kind of feel like that was intentional though because Zoe is there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Zoe almost is like her surrogate mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes like it's done because they say over and over and over again that sprites are very like keep to themselves. They don't trust a lot of people. They are very territorial. Like I think it makes sense that like that she doesn't have like this huge arc. But I will say what I do love is like they do give her like little snippets. And something that's and her and Talia's relationship is so cute. The girlies. Mm-hmm. But I do love when they're at the house and he like Linus like sneaks out. And he sees their like lesson. And it's so cute because he sees her lesson and Zoe's like explaining like how to like grow things and the earth and whatever. And Linus like genuinely shows interest like in the plants and he like talks about like his sunflowers and she grows a little bush daisy for him, which I looked that up because I was like, what the fuck does a bush daisy look like? It's like this tiny ass little fucking plant. And Linus is like, this is the best fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, and I fucking love this shit. He didn't say that because Linus doesn't cuss. But he's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And I just like, I love that moment a lot because I think about like how, you know, everyone's kind of used to Fee and like Fee can make things grow and blah, 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 blah. And it's said that like Fee does not do well with flowers. Talia is the one who does flowers. So the fact that she like dug into the earth and tried to make a flower for him when she solely deals with trees. Just like, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sweet. So sweet, dude.
I thought it was so sweet. She's like, it's not a sunflower. And he's like, no, this is better than a sunflower. I was like, oh, he grew in his like dingy gray city house. The only pop of color was sunflowers. And that's like, he loved, like that was like his kind of, when he was home, it's like, oh, I can have my sunflowers, you know? And so it's like, he really, that was like his favorite flower. And then she was just like, it's not a sunflower. And he's like, fuck those sunflowers. I don't give a shit about them anymore. This is amazing.
Yeah, literally. He's like, sunflowers? I actually never heard of them before. Bush daisies. That's it.
Bush daisies.
That's my shit, dude. So cute. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, leader. Go ahead.
Okay. Since now we've touched on everyone, and if we're not ready for this, we can push it back. We can pin it for later. But I was curious who's everyone's favorite character was. If we want to start with the first time reader first.
No. Yeah, Kylie probably has two favorite characters both times she's read the book.
Yeah, Kylie, give us your favorite character from the first time and then your favorite character this time. Okay, Cass?
Oh.
That's a really hard fucking question, Ashley.
I know, I've been thinking about it a lot. I thought book because I'm like, this is going to be the fucking question we're asked. I don't know. It's just, this is so basic, but it's gotta be Linus.
Oh,
basic.
Yeah, because he's the lead, he's like the main character. But
I feel like he's also so likable and relatable from the very beginning. You're like,
I just adored his character arc, and I loved what an advocate he was for children, and he never to be. I just loved it. So yeah, I think Linus was my favorite.
Should we do a favorite of the kids and a favorite of the adults? I feel like that's
cheating.
Fair.
No,
I feel like that's fair.
Cheating.
I feel like that's fair.
No, it's not.
That's
Ashley makes the rules. Ashley makes the rules. Ashley, you make the rules.
Okay, how about this? Yeah, so first, it's not cheating because we can have an overall favorite character, but now we're gonna put it in a small group. So from the children, who is your favorite of the children?
Of the children? Oh, it's freaking Lucy, of course.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, this is Cass's time to shine.
Absolutely, he's my favorite. He's the best.
I love him.
And he sings his little songs.
Yeah.
Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
Waiting for me.
Okay, Kylie.
Okay.
Your first favorite character, then your second favorite character, and then your favorite child.
Okay.
Go.
So when I first read this book, favorite character, Linus. Second time I read through this book, my favorite character is still Linus. He's my favorite. And I think it's because I really, really relate to him. He's just like in my brain, dude. Every type of situation, how he handles it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me. That exactly. He gets a little feistier throughout the book. He bucks up a little bit.
He sends that spicy note back.
Yeah.
No.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, he said no, thank you.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you.
He freaking got them.
And honestly, that's really relatable because side note, I don't know if you guys probably tell I'm not a threatening person. So whenever I get mad at Jacob and like a couple other people, especially up here, like, you're very cute when you're mad because you're a very non-threatening person, but I'm very serious. I'm like, no, absolutely not. That's really rude. And they're like, the fact that you said that, it's just hilarious. And so I was like, this is exactly how I would also handle it. No, thank you, actually. No, thank you. Okay. So Linus, overall favorite character. My favorite out of the children is Talia. She's my favorite out of the children. And I think she's my favorite out of the children because, first of all, she's had to, and Purple mentioned this earlier, of like how girls have to mature faster anyway. And I think Talia is an excellent representation of that. And how she still allows like all this love in her life, even though she has lived like 200 something fucking years, dude. And she's like, no, this is my family and I'm gonna love them and cherish them even though I might outlive them. And I love that about her, of how like her resilience and how she like creates like beautiful things. Like she takes pride in her work and she, continues on even though she lost her entire family tragically.
I know.
And it's just like, it's just wonderful. It's just really wonderful. And I really admire her. And I think also that they show her, she's very like gruff because she's actually the first person that Linus meets in the book on the island. And she's like, I'm going to fucking bury you in my garden, dude. He's like, what? He's like, what the fuck? You're going to bury me in the garden? She's like, yeah. And then when he comes back, she's like, I left a hole open because if you leave again, I'm going to bury you if you break your fucking promise.
Oh, that whole scene was so sweet where she starts crying into him and she's like, if you dare leave again.
So cute. That scene, I knew that scene was coming up because, again, read this book 2 times.
Because she's, okay, remind us again, Kylie. Jesus Christ, break my heart over and over.
You should just read it twice. That's really what you should do. You should just read it twice and then it'll be good.
I never reread books.
That's crazy. That's actually a crazy hot take. We can get into that later. But
is it really?
Yeah, it is. Okay.
I'm about to reread Love Hypothesis. Anyway.
We all know why you're rereading that, though.
No! Oh my god! No! So rude. No! It is a romance, but it's just very cute and wholesome. Anyway, oh my god! Never mind, I should have said it. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, okay. Back. Hold on. Let me finish up. Let me finish my point. Okay, so the part where she sobs into him is really what made Talia my favorite character, because like for me, the fact that she is the first person to see him both times when he comes back to the island, it just like it's such a special moment to me, and she shows vulnerability so easily to him, and it just makes me cry. Anyway, Ashley, your turn.
Okay. So, my favorite character, I think, is I'm just going off of like who I've just enjoyed the most. Like, I love all these characters so much, but I think Arthur is my favorite, only because just the way he writes him, and like me and Cass sort of talked about it, and then we had to stop because I was like, oh, we gotta wait till book club. But he's very sassy, and I like it. Like, he's just very, I like how he writes it, where he's like not unkindly, but he says something so out of pocket, and it's like, oh, I like that. He's just very blunt, very like, oh, that's an interesting thing. Or he'll like, Linus will say something, and he'll go, but why? But why?
Mm-hmm. He's easily challenged. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
he challenges. Yeah.
Yes, and I really like that. Like, I like he's always been the it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's like he's always very strong but very vulnerable at the same time.
Yeah.
Like with the kids, it's like he's very strong, very like the kids respect him, they listen to him, but at the same time he's like, hello, you can
I'm your daddy.
Right. And I want to protect you because you're on the
Tuck you into bed.
Yeah. Or like anytime they write him doing this a couple times, and it makes me laugh imagining it, but it's like his mouth goes into a straight thin line, and I always imagine that meme of the cat. It's like a white cat, and it's like doing that weird face. It's like a white cat, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know that meme. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I imagine, and I'm like, yes. And he's just, and it's funny because he's like never unpolite, but he's like sometimes he's just very out of pocket, like, that's interesting, or that's sad, and you're like, oh, damn, okay. Just it's like, oh, you live a very sad life, and you're like, damn, Arthur. And then
You don't got time to mess around.
No, I just really enjoyed his character. I thought he was very funny.
Well, you'll enjoy the second book then, because it's from Arthur's point of view. I'm pretty sure.
Of the same storyline?
No. Continuation.
Oh. I love when books do that. I love a different point of view.
I'm very excited. Just a quick tangent. I'm very excited to hear what how Arthur views Linus in his point of view. I'm very excited.
Oh yeah.
So excited.
Adulation.
Anyway, favorite of the kids. Go, Ashley.
Again, it's not very deep, but it's Chauncey. It's just because he's just actually, I guess, kind of on a deep note, but I feel like all the kids in their own ways are very like kid-like they're very true to being like they're being kids, but at the same time it's like how we talked about Talia, it's like they trying to teach emotional maturity and things like that, and I feel like Chauncey and Theodore out of all of them are like the most still a child, like still, because I think they're still one of the younger of the groups, but it's like he's just the most like, I'm just a bellhop, blah blah blah, but like things just go over his head completely.
Yeah.
It's like and it's kind of like, oh well, he's only been taught to be a monster, but then it seems like from his point of view, he's just like, yeah, they say I have to hide under bed, so that's why I'm under here. Anyway, I'm gonna do your laundry later. Okay, goodbye. Like, it's not like, it's almost like it didn't hit him yet, and it's like, oh,
yep.
You're so precious, and I hope it never hits you. I hope you just Become a bellhop and be happy forever. Don't ever think about your childhood. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you.
I
adored him the whole time. I was like, every time he came up, I was like, oh my god, I love you.
So cute.
You're so cute.
Especially when he's like when Linus comes back after leaving, which is heartbreaking. But when Linus comes back after leaving, Chauncey like is excited to see him, and he's like like wiggling with excitement, but he's like, no, I gotta stay right here, I can't go greet him, dude. It's so cute.
Yeah, he's like, everyone else said I had to be mad at him, so I have to wait until I have to wait.
So cute.
Yeah.
Okay, Purple says Sal and Linus and Daisy. Who's Daisy? Daisy? Purple.
Daisy? I saw that too.
Who's Daisy? Purple. But that's their favorite. That's their favorite because she's sassy. Who's sassy? Talia? Maybe they mean Talia.
Is Daisy the front desk? No, she had like an old lady name.
Yeah, like Marge or something.
Yeah,
did it?
Never mind.
I don't remember.
Was that
she moved stuff with her mind.
What?
Who moves stuff with their mind, dude?
What?
Who does it? Who moves stuff with their mind? Fee?
Yeah,
I guess
well,
kind of. Well, who moves stuff with their mind?
I know Lucy made everything float during his nightmare.
Yeah.
She threw the chair at the kids.
Oh, at the very beginning.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
He's doing the check at the orphanage.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why'd you throw a chair at him?" And she's like, "Because he made me mad, obviously."
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god! I forgot that was her name. What, Purple? You even said that earlier that you really liked her, and I forgot. That's on me. That's on me. And then Purple also says they reread Neil Gaiman's books at least 6 times, but a couple of them between 15 to 20 times. That's a lot of rereading.
I love Neil Gaiman.
I also love him. So good. So good.
I don't reread books.
Which is valid.
Know. It's just not something I've ever done. Just because I'm like, all right, nice.
But you rewatch shows, yeah?
Depending. Sometimes.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
I don't know, because it's like, you'll never, like, the first experience of it is like so incredible that I'm like, I don't want to change my relationship with the book because I'm reading it again. Even though I know there are some books I have reread, but it was not by choice. It was because like there was a lot of times. So my mother is an English books that we would read in school earlier than we read them. So like stuff like To Kill a Mockingbird, Catcher in the Rye, the book Thief. I've reread all of those because school. And there is like this greater appreciation you get from rereading, especially with it's more significant when you're younger. When I was maybe 12 and then read it again when I was 10, and having that different perspective on it really changes the book a lot.
Interesting.
So in situations where I have reread books, it's, yes, you always get a different perspective. I'm always just hesitant to, because I don't want to my initial relationship to it.
Okay. That's valid. I feel like that's very fair. I don't reread books often, if that makes sense. I rewatch shows more than I reread books. I'd get the hesitant thing because I was hesitant to reread this book because I was like, man, it's been a couple years and I really fucking love this book. I'm scared that I'm not gonna like it as much. But thankfully that did not happen. But yeah, I get that. It's very rare if I reread a book. And I think that's just because TV shows are a little bit easier, I guess, to rewatch because you can kind of do other things while you're rewatching a TV show. Versus a book, you're still fully immersed in it, regardless.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, and there's something so magical about like the first
Reading it for the
that
first
when
time.
you read it again and you're like, oh, I know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel as much, you know. That, and I currently have like 3 full of books I haven't read yet. So I can't reread for the sake of my bookshelves.
That's so fair.
Who do you think would create an awesome soundtrack to this book? So this has been something that's been like recently. Books is like, what if we put like a soundtrack to books? Because sometimes I can't focus, and so I have to listen to like instrumental music to be able to think. And most of the time it's like instrumental bluegrass. I love some banjo. Don't judge me. And I was reading The Hidden Life of Trees, which is a nonfiction how trees work and all of the underworkings of it. And
That's a good book.
And I'm like, this makes sense. And then you try like you can't like, instrumental bluegrass doesn't work for this one. Like I would start listening to music and then, or like reading a book. What soundtracks are to books?
I feel like for this book, because they mention the music so much, but like the old, those old songs that they mentioned that Lucy and Linus likes, but also like just instrumental. I feel like TJ Klune is very up soundtrack vibes. Very Pixar, very, very light, very cute. Almost quirky, like you know what I mean?
I was gonna say like something whimsical. It's gonna be like there's gonna be like a little glockenspiel in the background.
So the person who wrote the Up soundtrack is Michael Giacchino. Michael Giacchino is the one who wrote the Up soundtrack, all the instrumentals.
Yeah.
I could see that. Very Pixar. I could see that.
Alexis French. This book is very Pixar. I could see Pixar.
Oh, Cass, you cut out.
Yeah, I
cut out.
Yeah. We didn't hear that last part. I'm sorry. This book is very Pixar is the last thing we heard.
Yeah, no, that I could see Pixar turning this book into an
I could also see it being very like almost like claymation style.
Interesting.
And so it's like that's only okay. I also like to do this with books, but I like to do fan art, which
there's not enough fan art of this freaking book, dude.
No, and it's a very slippery slope because I was actually very upset with the fan art that I found for this book because
don't even get me started, dude. Don't get me started.
They made Linus skinny. They made Linus and Arthur young. I didn't like it. I know.
I was so upset. No, Ashley. Don't listen, okay? Something I really love to do is look at fan art of books because I hyperfixate on books so badly that I have to get it out. I have to get it out some way, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't fucking draw worth that goddamn shit. I can't do it. No, don't matter nothing. I can't do it. So I look at other people's fan art and what do I see? What do I see in this goddamn book? First of all, not enough fan art. If you can draw and you're listening to this, please draw fan art of this book. Please, I'll pay you. I'll pay you $5.
I wish I could put pictures in this chat to show everybody this fan art.
No, it's so bad. It's like there's very few. Either everyone's all white, including fucking Miss Chapelwhite, which I was like, first of all, she's mentioned to be black like so many times.
Right.
Or they give her like white people hair. And I'm like, no. No. Anyway.
Or they make Talia skinny too. Or they will give her a beard, which they've mentioned so many times.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry.
Once again, there's people not being okay with things that aren't status quo.
Right. Maybe so.
That's what the whole book was about.
the fact and all and them being made young, Ashley, that made me so pissed off. And
he's
Go ahead.
old. He's old, and he's round. Let him be old and round. Leave him alone.
The amount of how many times they're like, yeah, his hair's thinning. His hair is thinning. Do not give this man a full head of hair. He's balding. Let the man bald in peace. Make me so mad. It makes me so mad. And Arthur is described to be like, he's looking younger than like, you know, his age, which could be, you know, just a tidbit of being a magical being, right? We don't know.
Right. But that doesn't mean 23.
No!
That means like 38.
Literally! And they draw him like not knobby-kneed and like super skinny, and I'm like,
or
what
buff. Like they'll make him like buff, and it's like,
I don't get
what?
Start on that shit.
What?
Me start on that shit. Pisses me the fuck off. Or they don't give Chauncey like his black teeth, you know, because he has black teeth. They don't like, or they make Fee like, they don't give her like wings. They just give her overalls and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck are y'all doing?
Let me go back. I was so mad.
I was so mad. Awful.
You guys chat, look it up. So you can hate on this fan art with us.
Terrible. There's very few actual good fan art. It's very, very few. It's
Well,
like
now I'm curious.
Yes, Cassidy, look it up.
Please do.
I did not look up.
It's upsetting.
Because also, like, I wonder, because there's one fan art that
Literally, Seth.
Hold on,
literally.
let me see if he has black teeth. Let me see. But it's, yeah, he does. So there's one, and it has, like, the actual book cover art, and, like, I wonder if this is, like, author approved, because this would seem to be the most authentic to the book. And it's...
If you share it,
look.
if you share it in Discord, I can share it to chat.
Okay.
Yeah, the fan art. Purple said I studied animation. I will give it a go. Purple, if you draw fan art of this book, I will cry. I'll cry.
Get it to us. Try to get it done by like September when we read the next one.
The first one I pulled up right here seems pretty accurate.
There are some good ones. There are some good ones. Not
I'm
enough.
about to put it in our chat. Hold on.
Okay, put it in the chat. No, there are. Okay, don't get me wrong. There are some good ones. There are some very decent ones. But the majority is not great. The ones that pop up right on Google are pretty good. It's when you get deep into it, and you're like, oh no, oh no.
They do make Linus and Arnold younger than.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, but a lot of people's pictures of Arthur, look like exactly how I pictured him.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah,
they do a good job with that. I agree. With that.
This is not how I
the
pictured
one...
Lucy.
No. Here, this is the one that I hated the most, because I was like, they all look like children. Why?
No.
Hold on.
No, don't
They
do
did.
that.
They did give Talia a beard, but yeah, Sal is small, and it's like, no, Sal is bigger.
He's a big
than
guy.
Linus. Yeah.
He's a guy. Oh God.
Or let me see.
I can't do it. It makes him mad.
Yeah. Hold on. Did you see the pictures?
Where'd you put him?
I put him in our general chat.
Let me see. I might not have got notified. Okay. Oh yeah.
See, aren't those good? Like,
yeah. These ones are good.
Two, but then this
The
bottom
one.
one.
Okay, hold on, chat. I'll show you.
The bottom one is like, you want them to be pretty, and it's like they were just fine the way they were. It's like you right.
Okay, I gotta save them, and I'll show you guys. Okay. So. Okay. I'll make those big in just a second. Let me just pull up the children. I'm pulling up the good ones first.
Yeah.
These are the good ones. Okay. Here you go, chat. Look. They look so good. Look how cute they look.
And see, it's like they have like in the top left, I feel like that must have been author approved because it's like that's, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's almost like a stamp of approval. Like, yep.
And this is such good fan art. Like Chauncey has black teeth. Like they look older, like in their 40s. I feel like Linus could have a little bit more thinning hair and, you know, some more wrinkles, but you know, I don't have as many qualms. I don't have as many qualms with that one. Let me save this one. This one's ridiculous. Okay, hold on. Okay, chat, look. This one looks good. It looks good. Oh, we're an ad. Hold on. I'll wait till the ad stops. Yeah, so the one that you shared, Ashley, is actually like one of the more popular ones for sure, because that's the one that gets circulated a lot more.
The one where they're walking in the woods?
No, this one. The two that you
sent.
These ones are really good. They're very, very good. I like them. The artist is very sweet. Okay, so that's the good ones, chat. Okay, now look at this shit. Look at this shit. Hold on. Let me show you guys.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look. Oh, it's so small. Oh my god. Look at that shit. It's blurry. It's blurry, but you guys can see it, okay?
Hold on, let me see.
Look at this crap. First of all, why do they look 25? You can tell without the good clarification. Without the clarity.
Yeah, they look like teenagers.
They look babies. They look like babies, dude. They look like babies. Yeah. Sal is small. Why is Sal small? Why is he so small?
Yeah.
Can't stand that. He's supposed to be bigger. I hate it. I don't like it. Get this off my screen. Get this off.
And they made Arthur so buff.
I don't like it.
Ain't buff.
No. Oh my gosh. He's a little guy.
Let me find. There's a worse one of Arthur being buff. Hold on.
Oh no. Y'all
it's
get
bad.
that out of here.
It's like why is he buff?
Yeah, exactly. Purple. 2 kitty fairy tale. Yeah, exactly. 2 picture perfect. There's not any like realness. No genuineness. I agree. Talia in that drawing is so good. I love that they give her like a cute little gnome dress. I love it so much. She's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I was gonna ask if you guys had any critiques about this book.
Like, I do. I have only one.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was interesting how I think this is also just his style. He wants to have a neat ending, a very happy, very clean. But it happened to me. It happened really well. I don't know. I just think it ended a little too neatly. It's kind of like, oh, this is like, this is real life, you know. Oh, but everyone gets adopted, and you know. Or I thought it was funny how realistic everything has been, especially with dichotomy, up until the end when they got approved. Because I'm like, oh, if this was the real world, Linus would have gotten his bags packed that day. They would have, which he did quit, but it's like
he would have been escorted out.
He would have been escorted. The children would have been taken away. Like,
oh yeah.
I was happy because I was like, I got approved, but I was like, oh, but that would never happen. They would send all those children to different corners of the world. They would, you know, like probably arrest Linus. Also with the stolen, he stole all those records and like anonymously, like for also the government, it's like whistleblower for something like that. It's like, oh, Linus, you might need to be in witness protection. You know,
I mean, he has
like stealing files.
He has a Phoenix boyfriend and the Antichrist. I feel like he's protected. I feel like he's good.
That's true. Yeah.
Keep going though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that was my only thing where I was like, I think it's like, and then he stuck it to them, and everything went their way, and it's like, okay. Which it's like, that's not like what this book I feel like was meant to be. I feel like this book was meant to be a cozy book, happy ending. So I still felt like, oh, this was a nice ending. But it was just like being like real, and then it's like, you know, like how when you have an argument in the shower and you're like, oh, and then I'm gonna say this, and they're gonna be like, oh, you were right. But in real life, that would never happen. That's how I felt like the ending of this book was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna tell them they were wrong, and then they're gonna change, and they did. It's like, yay! You know what I mean? Like, if I have to be critical, that's the only thing.
Yeah. Can I speak on this for just a sec?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give some frame of reference. So, as I'm not gay anymore because it's not June, but if I was, so unfortunately, until recently, probably until like a few years ago, not very long ago, most of the queer love stories are tragic. Like almost all of them. Like if you go back and read like any like old gay literature, it always ends with someone dying. It ends with them being separated. It ends with them going back in the closet. Like it doesn't end happy. And so he actually spoke on this because this was a big critique. Like you are not alone. Like everyone's like, I don't understand. Like why are you writing like these? Because it's in every single one of his books. Like they end like this. And he goes, because there's, you know, the queer community, the gay community has like dealt with enough tragedy that I don't want to add to that. I want to have like a book where they feel like they know, like even though there's like still tension and conflict,
right?
They know that this is a safe book and it's going to end happily, instead of I'm reading this book and I'm really invested and then all of a sudden someone dies of AIDS, or all of a sudden someone gets beat to death by a cop. Because they're in a pride parade, or, you know, because I think also because we like people of that, like of the community, I'm acting like I'm not part of that community. Being a part of the community is already so treacherous and so scary in day-to-day life. And I think for me, I understand where you're coming from for sure, because like from a writing standpoint, I totally understand that. But I think from like the intersectionality of it, it makes sense to me that it would end like that, because he doesn't want to add to that pile, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's like, I still, because I remember you were telling me that. So it's like, I was kind of expecting it. I was like, okay, but it's going to end happy. So yeah.
Yeah. But I agree from like a writing standpoint. I totally get that. Of being like, what the fuck?
But then there's going to be a whole nother book. So maybe they're going to be like, just kidding. The kids, you know? And they're going to be like, now you have to go to court and fight for the kids' custody.
You'll never guess what happens next.
Okay, Cass, what was your critique? Curious.
I was unprepared for this.
I know, this is a bonus question. I'm just really curious because you guys, you know, didn't rate it 5 stars, so I'm just curious. That's all.
This is true. Yeah, I guess what made me not put 5 stars is just that, I don't know. I really appreciate this, but it was all very simple.
Yeah.
It all, like, there was no, like, innuendo. There was. He explicitly stated what was to be inferred.
Yeah. I get that.
Which sometimes bothers me in a book when it's like, no, I would have understood what you're talking about if you hadn't stated it. You could have just let me context clues.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, this is what you're talking about. But doing the, like, sometimes it's very, the metaphors and analogies are too
in your face that you're like, okay, I get it. Which I like all of the metaphors and analogies, but I'm like, no, I would have picked up on that.
It's going going back to like trusting your reader, like trusting your audience that they're gonna get it. Yeah, I get that.
Yes,
that's totally valid.
No, and it's that's the same presuming competence, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's very valid. Both very valid critiques. I think. I have no critiques of this book, obviously. I have no critiques. None. 5 stars? 6 stars? Off topic. Purple asks, what are your animated people drinking?
I feel like there was like when these were first made 2 years ago, there was a reason behind this, but I can't say I remember anymore.
Which, if you don't know, our lovely friend of the community, Jen, made these. There's her command. You should go follow her if you don't follow Jen already. I'm drinking hot coffee in mine. I believe Ashley's drinking boba.
Yes, I'm drinking boba.
I think she is.
And then you said iced latte, right?
I think so.
Okay.
No, that tracks.
Or wasn't it like a macchiato? Because I feel like we were still in college, and that's what we always got.
Is that why it's dark on top, baby?
Oh man,
That's what I
don't
thinking.
know how that works.
Oh.
But I do love a latte.
They put the milk on the bottom, and then they pour the coffee on top.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Lessons in coffee with Ashley.
You're welcome.
But if your question is what is your go-to drink?
Yeah.
I love it. Mine would be a latte syrup. I fucking love hazelnut. It belongs on everything.
I agree.
Just like jelly, jelly belongs on every sandwich. If you think a sandwich is good, put jelly on it and it'll be better. Have you ever put jelly on? Do it tonight.
Jelly on what?
Grilled cheese.
What the fuck?
You heard me.
What are you talking about?
Heard me.
What the fuck are you talking about right now?
It can't be cheddar cheese. You have to make a grilled cheese white cheese and put like a little bit of like dark jelly, a jam.
You know what? I take it back because I eat charcuterie and I eat jam with cheese all the time. I need to shut my mouth.
Or have you ever
jelly belongs on every sandwich.
That's valid.
Yeah.
And I stand by that.
That's valid.
Jelly on hamburgers.
This is the hill I die on.
Also, have you ever put Doritos on your peanut butter and jelly, like in your peanut butter and jelly?
I don't eat Doritos.
No, Ashley, I am an adult.
An adult who put jam on grilled cheese. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you, actually. That's quite enough, Cassidy. You don't understand how the coloration of your coffee works either, so I don't want to hear it. Being an adult, I don't want to hear it.
Jalapeno jelly is so good. Oh my god, speak of the devil, hi Jen! We were just talking about you. Hi Jen! Hi everybody. We're at the tail end of our book club. So if you don't want end of book spoilers, leave. We literally were just talking about you and how you created all the overlays and everything that you see. Look at that. Thank you for the 29 months! Hi, everybody. Jen, thank you so much for the 29 months and the raid. You keep raiding me on book club. I'm going to think that you're flirting with me. You got to stop that. I'm gay as hell, Jen. I'm going to think you're flirting with me. Everybody, welcome to our book club. We host a book club every month. Today we're doing House in the Cerulean Sea. It is Ashley's pick. We're at the tail end. We are in the spoiler section, so if you have an interest reading this book and you don't want to be spoiled, which we all gave a pretty good review, I would think, of this book, go read it. Go read it. Don't be here. I mean, you can be here if you want to spoil it. It's okay. We've hit a lot of the big points at this point, so you won't get too spoiled, to be fair.
That's true.
Yes.
So we're gonna do a recap of the whole book right now.
Let's review chapter 1.
And back to the beginning. But thank you so much for the raid. Thank you everyone for coming in. If you got a raid and run, I totally understand. And we're gonna finish up our discussion. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Ashley, any more talking points you would like to hit?
I think we're good.
Oh. Okay, well.
So there was one, but I
okay.
feel like we talked about it a lot, so I don't feel like it would just be a lot of reiterating what we said.
Right.
So that's why I was like, no.
Right. Period.
Mhm.
Okay, actually, just kidding. Everything's done. Just kidding. Okay,
All
wait.
right, so
Okay,
if you
I was.
if you
Go ahead.
could sum up the book in a sentence,
Oh.
Okay.
how would you do that?
Okay, Kylie goes first for an example because she read the book twice.
Okay. All right. Out me.
Two sentences.
I get 2 because I read it twice. Thank you.
No, you actually only get one word.
One word.
Oh yeah, you get one.
One word.
Your thoughts should be pretty clear now. You've read the book
Right.
twice.
Right. My one word is gay. That's my
Okay.
one word. That's my one word. My whole
Right.
sentence to describe it would be a run-on sentence, honestly, because to put my thoughts into words would be really hard. I would say this book brought a lot of emotions and healed me in a lot of ways that I wasn't expecting and created a wonderful experience. That's what I would say.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you. Your turn, Ashley.
Oh, my turn. No, it's actually Cassidy's turn.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in charge.
Okay. All right. So I guess I would say
Mhm.
I feel heard and
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for. Supported in this broken world. That this is going on from a sentence. That it's a damn it.
Oh. Okay.
What a great sentence,
But it-
everybody. Everyone clap for
Yeah.
Cass. That was so good. That was such a good sentence.
I'm so good with the words, you have no idea. No, that I feel not alone in my opinion of the world.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Can you hear my snaps?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
This sounds like rain.
It's like golf claps.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Ashley?
Okay. This is also gonna be not well put together. But I feel like to sum this book up is it beautifully describes people being discriminated and being, how hateful the world can be, but also at the same time not placing blame on anyone. So it's kind of shedding light on an issue and how when people can relate and that people can kind of be healing, but also not trying to point fingers or hate, continue that hate to someone else. You know what I mean? Because I'm being hurt, it's kind of like, okay, well, we're not going to do that back. We're going to grow from that.
Hurt people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I really like that.
Very good.
I also did not answer the question from earlier, I realized. About the soundtrack. We got sidetracked.
Oh, the soundtrack.
Yeah. Purple had. Okay, so for those who just came in, Purple had asked about who we would pick for the soundtrack for this book. Which, great question. We got Pixar vibes. We talked about the person who did the soundtrack for Up, which was Michael Giacchino, whatever the hell his name is. I said it perfectly. Absolutely. For me, I would choose Joe Hisashi, who makes all the Studio Ghibli music.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Absolutely.
Whoa.
I would. And I'm
down.
proud of that.
I do think if this were animated, so it would either be Studio Ghibli vibes or Pixar.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Inside Out energy.
Oh, yes. 100%. Absolutely.
Oh, this would be such a pretty.
Do you imagine
Studio
this?
Ghibli.
I was just
The
about to say,
house?
imagine that.
The house? Oh my gosh. In the forest?
Ah!
Okay. We have to send letters to the author and to
We gotta send letters to Miyazaki and be like, hey,
yeah, to
dude,
Miyazaki.
I need you. I know you only do originals, but just this once, can you please make this, dude? So good.
Well, he did Howl's Moving Castle, and that's off of a book.
I would say it's
Sort of.
Whoa,
very
whoa.
loosely based. I love that man, but he was like the only thing really about it is that the characters' names and the magic. That's it. And the castle. That's it, dude.
True.
Yes, it would. Purple said the opening scene would suit the main Inside Out tune. The bum bum ba 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 bum bum. Cute. Yeah. So there we go. I just wanted to make sure I answered the question.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Also, Kylie, I think you answered this in the chat, but yes, that is my cat Pepper.
Yeah, I misread it at first. Sorry.
Yeah, and she is that grumpy looking.
Yeah.
She is very rude.
Pepper is so rude, dude.
But she's sweet. They don't believe me, but she is snuggly. She can be. Yeah, but they don't. But she always has this face. Like, this is a very accurate illustration of my cat Pepper.
Yeah, because when I sent the picture to Jen, she's so angry, dude. Pepper's so angry in that picture that I had sent Jen for the reference photo, which is so fucking funny.
She's so mad. Yeah.
Speaking of mad, my cat is meowing.
Oh, I heard her screaming.
She's being so angry right now. She's so mad. She's so angry. She's mad because I won't let her headbutt the mic, because that's all she wants to do is whack the shit out of the mic, and then it sounds awful.
No.
Goose is making aggressive eye contact with me right now.
I know, we need to add Goose to your animation.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you have a dog
and
now.
what's happening is she's sprawled across the table and our name tag. She's probably eating something.
Oh my god.
Her
And
animation.
her ears, the ears take up the majority of the.
A book should be
Goose's
in
ears.
her mouth.
Oh my god.
The book we're reading is in her mouth.
So cute, dude. Okay. Before we wrap up, any last thoughts? Before we wrap up and go into games.
Nope. Do we want to announce next month's book?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which this book actually, we say month. We don't know. I don't know when we're gonna be doing this. The date for book club for next time is TBD, as always, until we decide.
Until we finish reading.
Right. But this book is a graphic novel. So it's our first graphic novel that we're doing.
Woo!
And it's called On a Sunbeam. There's the info. Look at that. It says On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. Live on We Don't Know. And it is a queer coming-of-age story. A story about how to salvage lost love and youth. And a multi-generational story about how to thrive in a society that does not understand who you are or what you can do.
Not once have we read a not gay book.
I know.
Listen, the gay books are good. The gay books are the gay I started with the gay books, and y'all just continue with the gay books. Cass, yours was unintentionally
and
very gay. It was so gay.
It was so gay.
It was so
We
funny.
knew
So
House
funny.
in the Cerulean Sea would be.
Right.
I
We knew
think
mine would be gay.
trend that.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, we did. So now it's just a challenge. This is
Yeah.
not on the same page anymore.
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
I don't
make
know how to
our
make that
name more
fun.
gay now. We're gonna have to make it gay. I don't know how to make it more gay.
We could same and homo, right? Those are the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
So on the homo page.
Oh my god.
We're gonna get canceled so fucking fast.
Not mine. This is your channel, Kylie.
I know, right?
That's on you.
Anyway, we're not calling it that. I veto that 100%. 100% before tons of people come after me for that. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
fine.
yes. So back to this. But yeah, you missed me already. Yeah, because I'm gonna get canceled just from this VOD. Just from this VOD. Someone's gonna clip it and be like, "Look, Kylie's homophobic." I'm like, "What the fuck?" What the fuck? Yes. So, on a Sunbeam, it is our first graphic novel that we are going to be doing. I will announce all that jazz in the Discord and everything like that on stream once we decide when we're going to be reviewing it. It does look intimidating. I want to state this. It does look intimidating. It does look very thick, but it is a graphic novel. So you will read through it probably very quickly.
So this means this is non-audio bookable.
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
need the pictures.
Okay. All right.
It is not audiobookable, but the pictures, like the panels, there are some pages that like one panel takes up a whole page, so it's gonna go away really fast.
Wow.
Yeah,
544 pages.
yeah. She's thick. She's really thick, but don't be scared.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Don't be scared. It'll be easy to
It's not gonna
binge.
fit in my mailbox. Kylie.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry because I'm very excited to read it. It's been sitting on my shelf for like over a year.
That's been my favorite thing about book club is that this is how I'm reading my books.
Yes.
Is that when it's my turn to pick, I'm like, all right, what's that I haven't read yet?
Exactly. That's the one. That's the one. Okay.
Oh,
Yes. Yes, leader.
Okay.
Yes.
so I also, because I know this was my pick, but I'm just thinking for my future pick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we can say no,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanna do. I've talked to this, I think, to both of you guys about Piranesi.
Mm-hmm.
I really want y'all to read it so we can talk about it, but I've already read it.
Mm-hmm.
We can.
So
I will put it.
The next chapter of book club is reading books we've already read.
I mean, we could do like a compromise. You can like once a year you can pick one book that you like have already read or something.
You have to force the other two to read.
Yeah. That way it's not all books that we've already read.
I would. Oh my! I love forcing people books.
See. Okay.
Okay.
So we agree. Okay.
So
Great.
just forcing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so then we're not mad at me for rereading this fucking book then,
No,
right?
No.
What
You
the
lied to
But
us.
it's fun to be mad at you though. So
Oh,
we're gonna
You
stop
lied
mad
to
at you.
us.
fuck? All right,
But
well.
then
Little
when I
Go on.
But then you guys can be mad at me when it's my pick. I'll be like, haha, I already read this.
But we won't be mad at you because you didn't lie to us.
Ooh.
I didn't lie. I just had an omission of guilt. An omission, okay? Not lying. Omission. Very
That
different.
is
Very different.
The same thing. We're on the same page, Kylie.
We're on the homo page.
Oh. Also, you can't be super mad at Kylie because she recommended me TJ Klune like
Mm-hmm.
a year ago. So I bought this book. I bought this book like a year ago. So I'm also like,
You're welcome, everybody.
I can pick this for book club,
so
and because it's been sitting on my shelf, and then now I'm gonna have to read it.
Because I also recommended Under the Whispering Door, and you read it.
That was really good.
And then you're like, well, now I gotta read the other ones. Yep.
So I was like, that will be my book club pick.
There are so many secrets coming out right now.
It is not a secret.
Ashley, oh my
secret.
god, I can't believe you would do that, Ashley. Wow.
You promised Kylie she'd read this book.
Look at Kylie trying to be like, look, see, be mad at Ashley now.
Yeah, you can't be mad at me. Can't be mad at me.
Oh my gosh.
Look at my face. Well, you can't see my face.
I was trying to share the load, and look at you just doubling down and throwing me under the bus. Wow.
It's okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
See me trying to be nice to you again. We'll see.
Are y'all mad? Are y'all doing this because I'm brown? Is that really what this is coming down to? Because I'm gay and brown? Because I'm gay and
It was nice
brown.
talking to you guys. We'll see. I'll talk to you next book club. Goodbye. I can't believe you just said that.
That's the end.
Anyway, thanks for everyone for coming to book club today, everybody.
Oh my god.
Okay, we are gonna take a break. We've been book clubbing for almost 2.5 hours, so we are gonna take a quick little break, give everybody a breather, and then we are playing games? Question mark? Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
You'll never guess what.
Yeah, you'll never guess.
Guess what?
Everyone's prepared this time.
Are you? I downloaded all of the updates before we started playing the game.
Debbie Delight. That's right. We are
right.
playing Debbie Delight. Exactly, Zed. Thank you.
Let me make sure mine is ready to go. Oh.
It's okay. We're gonna take like
It's not
a solid
really.
5 to 10 minute break. Just
It
because
doesn't
I've
matter.
also.
It doesn't matter. I've already updated. I've already downloaded.
Oh, right,
updates
right.
to the game. I have storage on my Switch now.
Oh, period. Micro
I'm
SD.
so ready.
Okay.
I'm so ready.
Ashley, why the fuck is your
Yep.
Steam profile a crab? Why is it
not?
a crab, dude?
Why not?
You know
Maybe
what?
I like it. Wow.
Maybe I like it.
You know what? I'm not gonna stick up for you anymore.
Okay.
If this is how I'm getting treated. Wow. You're
okay.
like
Okay, look, we're doing a BRB. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. We're
Oh
gonna
my
do a
God.
BRB.
we're really just gonna
Oh
leave
my
them on this
God.
note. They're gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh my god. They're just gonna fight and then
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, because we can't actually let them know, guys. We can't guys. We can't let them know that we actually kiss. Like, shh.
We don't.
We should,
Why would you say that?
That's only because you're denying it now because we're in front of people. I see how it is.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
I can't believe this. I can't believe.
Oh my god.
God. I knew
Good
you
thing
guys hated me because I was gay. Leaving.
I have to check and make sure none of our significant
you
others
know-
are in this chat right now.
It's not July anymore, Kylie. Yeah.
You mean
It's
June?
not July.
It is July, actually.
Caw-caw! It's July, motherfuckers! We're patriotic here. Caw-caw! Caw-caw-caw! There we go.
Yeah.
I did it. Am I
Only
straight?
tomorrow.
Am I straight
And then
now?
Oh, yeah,
That's
no,
what
you're
I've
only
been told.
patriotic
That's
tomorrow
what
and
it
during the Olympics. That's
Right.
the only time you're allowed to be patriotic as an American. Yes.
Absolutely. Any other time, you're red flag. Don't
Right.
come
This
come
is-
near me. Don't come near me.
Even tomorrow is questionable. Let's be honest.
It's a little bit.
You-
No, you know, tomorrow is
The
mainly for the
Olympics-
food and the booze. It's not really
Right.
about America.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Period.
and fire. Can we?
Oh, yeah, and fire.
I am not about celebrating America at the moment.
Fair. Fair.
But man, I love fireworks.
I
Yeah,
also love
The
fireworks.
rocket's red glare.
Those
You
are
know what I mean?
great.
The
It's in the
rocket's
song.
red glare.
All right, actually, that's enough.
Okay, everybody. Thank you. Okay, for real, we're going on a break. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to hang out for book club. We are going to do some DVD, so if you're not into horror kind of games, feel free to skedaddle out of here, or if you're tired and you're coming in from the raid or anything like that and you need to leave, feel free to do so. Take care of yourselves, drink water, all that jazz. You just had fireworks outside your house that ended a few minutes ago. They're pre-gaming for tomorrow. That's what that is.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll be back. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna take a pee break and get snacks and get comfy.
Ooh, yes.
Goodbye!
Goodbye.
Guys, feel free to fish if you would like to on the break. Goodbye!